Good day, grade 11, and welcome to our virtual tourism classroom. My name is Penny Forster. I'm a tourism teacher in the Nelson Mandela Bay district, and I will be presenting the lesson today. Before I start, I'd like to acknowledge the role played by Erica Ferreira, Subject Advisor for Tourism in Nelson Mandela Bay Zone 1, who compiled the material that we are using in this series of lessons, as well as the Eastern Cape Department of Education, the E-Teaching and Learning Directorate, who have made this virtual lesson possible. If we take a look at the curriculum, grade 11s, you will see that what we are studying is based on the domestic tourism growth strategy, and we looked at various aspects in the last lesson. That was the state of domestic tourism in South Africa, why it is necessary to have a domestic tourism growth strategy. We also looked at current trends that influence tourism, as well as strategic objectives and targets. In today's lesson, we will be focusing on the 5 domestic market segments, as well as the domestic marketing campaign. A little bit of history behind these 5 domestic market segments is there was research done by South African Tourism during 2011, and something that emanated from that research was that 8.2 million adult South Africans are financially in a position, or were financially in a position, to travel. Subsequent to that, the 8.2 million adult South Africans were grouped into 14 segments based on similarities in travel behavior and preferences. Only 5 of those segments were chosen to be included in the 2012-2020 domestic marketing campaign, and you will see them on the bottom of your screen. Firstly, we have spontaneous budget explorers. Secondly, New Horizon families, high life enthusiasts, seasoned leisure seekers, and well-to-do Ansi families. In the next couple of slides of this lesson, we'll be taking a look at each of the 5 domestic market segments individually. We will look at their profile, their reason for traveling, and their preferred type of travel. On your screen at the moment, you have spontaneous budget explorers. Their profile is a fairly young age group of people between 18 and 24. They come from all races in South Africa and have approximately 5,000 Rand disposable income a month. Now, I just want to focus on the name of this segment, Spontaneous Budget Explorers, and I think that encapsulates the reason why this market segment travels. They are spontaneous, in other words, they do things on the spur of the moment, but at the same time, they are aware of the cost, and so they are looking for budget offers, but they like to explore and to do interesting things. And you will see that if you look under the reason for their traveling, that travel is a way to discover new people, places, and adventures. If I could just draw your attention to the photographs and the images at the bottom of your screen, you will see that there is a group of people that are riding quad bikes in a park where they can view giraffe. There's also a group of people that seem to be having a picnic on the beach, as well as a group of people doing whitewater rafting. So those people are discovering new people, new places, and new adventures. Another reason why this group of people travel is to get away from the monotony of daily life, and they travel to add to life experiences and fond memories. In other words, they would like to experience new things that are exciting. Their preferred type of travel or preferred weekend is a weekend holiday that is filled with various activities. The second market segment is New Horizon families. Their profile is that they are aged 35 and older. They are black, colored, and Indian, and have approximately 5 to 10,000 rand disposable income each month. Again, if I can just stop here, the name says New Horizon and also families. Now, if you're looking at New Horizons, you are looking at new things. You want to broaden your perspectives, but at the same time, these people are families, so there are children involved here. The reason for traveling is because travel is a way to educate their children, and if you take a look at the images at the bottom of your screen, you'll see each and every one of those involves a family. It's young children that have been given the opportunity to broaden their perspectives. Another reason for their traveling is to spend quality time together, but also to reward themselves and their families for hard work. When looking at the preferred type of travel for this market segment group, it would be special offers on flights. Hotels would encourage them to travel. At grade 11, if we then continue taking a look at the different market segments, you'll see the next one that comes up is High Life Enthusiasts. If you take a look at their profile, you will see that they are aged between 25 and 45 years old, black, colored, and Indian people with a disposable income of 10,000 Rand or more a month. These people travel in order to boost their social status. If I can use just a different term, perhaps these people are the movers and the shakers. They travel to be seen with the right people in the right places. They want to experience the finer things in life, and they also are very enthusiastic, not necessarily about travel, but they're enthusiastic about the high life. These travelers want VIP tickets when they're attending a show at the Golden Circle. They would be going and getting the front tickets at the Cape Town Jazz Festival, and will also post their experiences on social media for everybody to know about. Their preferred type of travel or weekend is a weekend filled with activities. Our following segment is the seasoned leisure seekers. If you take a look at their profile, you'll see that they are aged between 25 and 45 years. They are white and have roughly 5,000 Rand a month disposable income. These people travel because they've grown up with travel, and it's a way of life. They've had lots of experience of going on holiday as they grew up, often going on holiday. They understand the value of travel and experiences, and it's not about showing off where you have been and what you have done, but it's for this market segment it's just to enjoy themselves, relaxing with family and friends. Unlike the high life enthusiasts that want to post their travels on Facebook, these people don't necessarily post their experiences on social media. As for them, it is about just relaxing and traveling to escape and spend quality time with loved ones, going on a picnic, just enjoying a sunset evening in a game lodge, any of those various type of leisure activities. Our last type of market segment is well-to-do Mzansi families. Their profile is that they are aged between 25 and 45 years old. They are black and have 10,000 Rand or more disposable income a month. You can make your own deduction there, grade 11, as to the financial situation of the people in this market segment. They certainly have more than enough money to spend, and the reason why they travel is all about escaping the city. They want to visit new and different locations with their families and with their friends, and they also want to expose their children to different things that they perhaps as children did not experience. People from this sector, if there would perhaps a special offer on flights or hotels, it would encourage them to travel, but that wouldn't be the main reason for their travel. They want to get away and visit a place like the Kruger Park or a resort and spend time together with families, escaping what is in the city. Now, grade 11, let me just at this point pause so that I can give you a little bit of advice with regards to exam papers here. In this section, you will be required to apply your knowledge. You are unlikely to be asked to repeat the profile of each of the segments or give the reason for traveling for the well-to-do Mzansi families. You are more likely to be given a scenario, case study, some sort of information that you have to read and apply your knowledge that you have gained when we've done these 5 market segments to the scenarios that come up in your question paper. So please always keep that in the back of your mind. You will be given a picture or perhaps a scenario and required to apply your knowledge, whether it be any of the market segments that we have spoken about. The following section we're going to do today, grade 11, is the domestic tourism marketing campaign. Now, this is part of the domestic tourism growth strategy, because the growth strategy, in order to encourage people, South Africans, to travel, have then brought in what is called the domestic tourism marketing campaign. This is to start people traveling. This is a message that goes out to the various market segments to encourage them to travel. Now, if you take a look at the screen, you will see that the first campaign is Short Left, which was a marketing campaign introduced by South African Tourism way back in 2004. And the aim of that campaign was to motivate young South Africans to travel. The Short Left campaign was kept for a number of years and was updated and relaunched with a different focus and in a different format every couple of years. But in 2012, a different campaign was launched. The reason why the Department of Tourism launched a different campaign was because the short-left campaign, they felt it was past its sell-by date, and then they decided on the Vaya Mzansi campaign. And the Minister of Tourism at that time was Martinus van Schalkwyk. Now, the Vaya Mzansi campaign, the slogan was, it's up on your screen on the left-hand side, whatever you're looking for, it's right here in South Africa. And that new domestic marketing campaign broadened its scope beyond the youth, as was the focus of the short-left campaign prior to that, and also encouraged all South Africans to travel and enjoy the benefits and experiences of our own world-class destinations that we have on offer here in South Africa. The Vaya Mzansi aimed to create the desire for travel among groups who did not grow up in a holidaying culture. It also targeted the 5 domestic market segments, as we have just covered in the first section of today's lesson. Unfortunately, the Vaya Mzansi campaign only lasted 1 year. It wasn't really something that instilled great confidence in the potential travelers of South Africa, and so it wasn't very successful, and that is why it only lasted for 1 year. Thereafter, South African tourism reintroduced the short-left campaign, and that was done in 2013. And the aim of that campaign was to offer a variety of travel experiences and packages that give South Africans the opportunity to enjoy trips that are fun, accessible, and affordable. The current short-left marketing campaign, the slogan of that campaign is, "It's your country, enjoy it." And I'd just like to remind you, grade 11s, that you always need to stay up to date with current trends in tourism. You could be asked what the current domestic tourism marketing campaign is in a question paper. You could also be asked what the slogan is. So make sure that you keep up to date with current trends in tourism. Right, grade 11, that brings us to the end of the domestic tourism growth strategy. And as has become the norm, we will be spending a little bit of time doing activities that are based on this topic. I just feel that it is necessary to remind you that most often when the domestic tourism growth strategy is asked in an exam paper, the questions will be of a higher order nature and will generally need you to apply your mind and apply your knowledge so that you can give substantial answers and substantial correct answers at the same time. You will see that the first activity comes from the 2019 grade 11 Eastern Cape question paper, and I'm going to read the question for you. Analyze the South African domestic tourism market segments below and answer the questions. There are 4 market segments indicated there. Firstly, we have A. Just take a look at the image for me. That should already give you an indication of the market segment that we are looking at. the quote that is given alongside A, holiday time with my kids is non-negotiable. I block that weekend off and don't take any business calls. A 5-star B&B will do for me. B, my favorite type of trip is where I can go on a boat cruise in the afternoon, spend the evening at a great restaurant, and then hit the clubs. Also, please take note of the image on the left-hand side of your screen. The third domestic tourism market segment on the screen is C. The statement given is traveling is a necessity when you have children. You have to take them places so that they don't just see it on TV, but they see for themselves. Please note the people in the image. And finally, D, take a look at the people in the image there, and the statement that is given: the best trip will be to get on the road, take a map, and just go and see what comes your way. Road trips are fantastic because we do crazy things along the way. Now the question there is, determine the domestic market segments labeled A, B, C, and D that have been identified by South African Tourism to form part of the Domestic Tourism Growth Strategy 2012 to 2020 marketing campaign. Now, I'm not even going to consider giving you the answers yet. I would like us to spend a little bit of time analyzing the statements on the left-hand side and the images. So what do we have with A? We have a black family. You can see that they view holiday time as being a non-negotiable, but specifically with children. The statement says that the parent does not block that, does not take business calls that weekend, but blocks the weekend off completely. But you will also see that they have the financial resources to stay in a 5-star bed and breakfast. The second domestic tourism market segment on the screen is B. You will see there is a black young lady, and my favorite trip is where I can go on a boat cruise, also then spend the evening in restaurant, and after that hit the clubs. So that young lady is obviously financially, she can afford to do those activities, but she's also somebody that likes to do a variety of things, and I would suggest that she's probably a mover and a shaker, as I mentioned earlier. The domestic tourism market segment labeled C, the statement where traveling is a necessity when you have children. You have to take them places so they don't just see it on the TV, but for themselves. So those are people that are very, very interested in spending time traveling. And again, take a look at the image that you have on the screen. And finally, the bottom one, the bottom domestic tourism market segment, refers to the young people taking a selfie there. The best trip will be to get on the road, take a map, and just go and see what comes your way. Road trips are fantastic because we do crazy things along the way. And that looks like, to me, people that are spontaneous and just do things on the spur of the moment. So with that information in the back of your head, I hope that you are attempting to identify the various domestic tourism market segments that can be linked with each of these images. And I will give you the answers in a second or so up on the screen. I hope you are thinking about it, because there you have your answers. A, well-to-do Ansi Families. B, high life enthusiasts. C, New Horizon families. And D, spontaneous budget explorers. Grade 11, I hope you were correct and that you were able to match the image and the statement with each of the domestic tourism market segments that we have studied in this lesson. Furthermore, the next question is from the November 2018 Eastern Cape question paper. Study the extract below and answer the questions. You will see that the extract is about a Soweto Camp Festival from the 30th of March to the 1st of April in 2018. The heading there, Soweto Camp Festival Adventure. Let's read the extract together and then we'll take a look at the questions that are asked. Soweto's very own camping and music festival. The township hosts camping visitors annually at the historic Molefe Park. Imagine enjoying a safe and secure festival under the Soweto sky, rich with heritage, history and culture, coupled with great people, experiences and beautiful memories. Enjoy a great lineup of activities, including quad biking, bungee jumping, indigenous games, a bicycle tour, a horse and carriage tour, live bands and numerous stalls. Come spend the Easter weekend in Soweto. There is your first question based on this extract. Identify the domestic tourism market segment targeted in the travel deal on the Short Left website. So if you spend a bit of time thinking which of the 5 domestic tourism market segments could have been targeted by a deal such as this, I hope you're spending a bit of time giving it some thought. Which market segment would be most attracted to a package deal such as this? And there you have your correct answer, spontaneous budget explorers. Why spontaneous? Because there are a variety of activities on offer and various things can be done on the spur of the moment. Budget explorers. Budget, the word budget refers to the fact that this market segment is aware of their budget and doesn't have the financial capacity to stay in 5-star hotels and bed and breakfasts. So therefore a Soweto Camp Festival would suit them perfectly. The following question, motivate your answer to the above question by supplying the following information on the profile of the identified domestic tourism market segment. So what are we looking at here? We need to take a look at the age group of spontaneous budget explorers, at the preferred type of holiday of the spontaneous budget explorers, as well as their reason for traveling. Now, you had that up on the screen a little bit earlier during this lesson, so you should be able to answer that question very, very easily. But let's take a look at the correct answers, grade 11. Firstly, they are aged between 18 and 24 years, which will give you 2 marks. If we take a look at their preferred type of holiday, you will see that this domestic tourism market segment prefers a weekend holiday that is filled with activities. And thirdly, their reason for traveling. This market segment travels to get away from the monotony of life, to add to their life experiences, and to discover new people, places, and adventures. And I'm sure you will agree with me if you take a look at what the Soweto Camp Festival has on offer. You will see that that particular package deal that is offered is most certainly going to enable the visitor to get away from the monotony of life, to add to their life experiences, and to discover new people, places, and adventures. Okay, grade 11, that brings us to the end of today's lesson. I trust that you found it insightful, that you have learned something about the various market segments as well as our domestic tourism marketing campaign, Short Left and the Via Mzansi. And I certainly look forward to meeting with you again in the next time we have our virtual tourism classroom, and wish you well. Goodbye.